Philadelphia, the chickens are coming home to roost. Here's a story about how every day, large groups of black people are roaming the SEPTA subways, the subway system up there, and they're attacking people. We've documented how they attack white people, black people, old people, young people, gay people, straight people. I don't know if we've seen any kitties, puppies, turtles, or goldfish attacked on the subway yet, but we're watching for it. Anyway, I wasn't even going to do this story until I saw how everybody was reacting to the attack. And now the same people, remember, Philadelphia is a town where they just elected a district attorney and a mayor who both of whom promised that they understood that cops were picking on black people all over Philadelphia for no reason whatsoever. That's why there were so many black people in prison. It was all about white racism. Now they're bragging about how they have fewer people in jail in Philadelphia than ever before, just like Chicago. And the district attorney and the mayor are telling people we're not going to arrest black people for little minor offenses. I mean, why would we do that? The message is out. Anything goes in Philly. That's what they're doing on the subways. Check it out.
We begin here at 4:30 with a problem SEPTA police have to deal with day in and day out around this very time, fights. The latest happened just yesterday at the Girard Broad Street subway station. That's where we find Action News reporter Maggie Kent live now with more on what officials and school administrators want done about the ongoing issue. Maggie.
Well, Shari, as you mentioned, it happens at 3 o'clock almost every afternoon somewhere in the city. And while transit police say they can't be at every stop, on every train car, at every moment, school administrators and parents want to see more manpower to stop the brawls underground. It was at the Girard Broad Street subway station. 4 7th-grade girls on their way home Monday afternoon were met by a group looking to fight.
When I tried to get my book bag and go, someone dragged me on the steps. They picked my head up because I was like this. They picked my head up and slammed my head into the railing. A boy comes behind me and pulls my book bag and start hitting on me and my friend Tatiana.
We're just like laying there on the steps, hitting our head over and over again on the stairs and things, getting hit over and over constantly.
It's an ongoing problem, says the founder of Mathematics, Civics, and Science Charter School.
This goes on every day.
The chief of SEPTA Police can agree on that.
The problem is this is an everyday event somewhere in the city.
SEPTA is not handling it properly. So I am pleading with SEPTA and the powers to be to do something.
SEPTA says transit officers can't be on every train at all times. While transit officers are deployed during after-school hours, the girls involved in Monday's beating say they couldn't find help.
The alarm was pulled, but it wasn't until like 20 minutes later that people actually showed up.
SEPTA police are asking for all passengers, especially kids, to use their phones and report issues right away.
Download SEPTA Transit Watch, and instead of filming the fight, text us. And the other part is, if you're involved in the fight, you're going to be banned from SEPTA.
Is that good? And this is what that app looks like, the SEPTA Transit Watch app. If you tap onto it, you can either report a problem with a picture or call police right from your phone. But if you want to leave a tip anonymously, you can type into it. It looks like you're just texting on your cell phone. That also works underground. Transit police asking that you download this SEPTA Transit Watch app.
You know, in Philadelphia, a month or so ago, there was a pretty big deal. A white guy in a car, and today I just read on the PBS news site that he was a drunken rich white guy. Anyway, he was driving in a limo with a couple of his buddies. There's a traffic jam. He gets out. Next thing you know, he's in an argument with a bicycle delivery guy, one of the fellas. Next thing you know, this successful white business guy is stabbed in the back, and he is dead. Cops and the fellow runs away. Next thing you know, the cops catch him, put him in jail. They charge him with murder. But then all the argy-bargy on the streets started. The ministers, the moms, the reporters started reminding everybody that, hey, the guy who got killed probably dropped an N-bomb, or he probably did something racist to this kid. And so as a result, you know, we shouldn't charge him with murder. We should drop this charge down to some kind of manslaughter thing, and that will immediately get him out of jail while he awaits trial. This is a killer. They're holding marches for the killer. The district attorney said, oh, hell yeah, I'll do that. He did that. The kid comes out of jail. There's like 20 or 30 people out there from his church. They're surrounding him. They say they're celebrating his release from jail. They're celebrating a black person who just killed a white person. These are church people. So if the district attorney in Philadelphia doesn't give a damn about somebody getting stabbed in the back and killed on the streets of Philadelphia, what do you think he's going to think about a couple of kids, quote, air quotes, getting into a fight every now and then? Do you think he really is going to care about that? Is he going to charge people with that? What about that school principal? What is she going to say once they start arresting these black people who are doing it? Oh, yeah, that's a black thing. All those argy-bargy on the subway, that's a black thing. What do you think that school principal is going to say when they start arresting black people? What do you think the school principal says now about black history in her black school? Oh, damn, I almost forgot, though, the one of the most interesting things about that video. Did you see at the end, the reporter pulls an app out, one of these see something, say something apps? How many stories have we done on the exact same kind of app that they had in Philadelphia, in San Francisco, in the San Francisco Bay Area on their BART system? Remember that story? They had it going. They had it going for like a year. Then some magazine in the Bay Area, they went and they looked at all the complaints that people sent on the app. And in the Bay Area, they figured out that like 6, 7, 8, 10% of the riders were black, but like 70, 75, 80% of the complaints were about black people. Thus, that is proof positive of white racism, not black dysfunction. So what's going to happen in Philadelphia when all the commuters start doing the same thing? They start seeing all these black people roaming around the subway without fear of consequence, beating the hell out of people, black and white, young and old, gay and straight. They're going to send in their little messages saying, hey, I think I just saw 10 black people beat the piss out of a couple of girls. What's going to happen when people start looking at them? Those messages. What's going to happen when they start tallying up the numbers there? Where everybody in denial is confronted with this enormous level of black violence, wildly out of proportion on the subways of Philadelphia. I mean, how long will they be able to maintain a straight face as they look into the camera and say, listen, we don't have a problem with violence. We have a problem with racist apps and racist white people who are always picking up the phone and calling the police about black people for no reason whatsoever. That's what we've seen in other places. That's what we will see here, which is okay in Philly because that's pretty much guaranteed not to make the black kids angry.